All right, are we good? I got audio. You guys hear me? I don't think there's anybody here yet. Yeah, I know I got audio. I got more coffee. I'm going to be up until like 2 o'clock in the morning because of all this coffee, but that's fine. My glasses are filthy. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. Once you start to kind of get into it a little bit, you start to learn the ins and outs of recruiting. It feels a little more strategic than the way the college basketball game works. Oh, and sorry, those of you who are tuning in for Out of the Park Baseball, or those of you who are watching this on YouTube, I apologize. I just finished a Draft Day Sports College football playthrough, or I guess Let's Play, starting right before this. Ended the stream, starting it back up with a new game. So that's what I'm talking about here. So yeah, it was fun. A little bit more strategic than what I'm used to with college basketball, and I like that. I like that a lot. So it is time to get into our draft to glory with the Los Angeles Angels. So we have gone, give it a second here, let people hop back in, but we took over in 2022. We just finished our 5th season with the Angels. Again, those of you who are just checking in for the first time, this is a draft to glory. We can only draft players in the Rule 5, draft players in the amateur draft, and sign players in international free agency. Those are the only 3 ways we can improve our team. First year player draft, Rule 5 draft, and the international scouting on July 1st. We play college football much more like a spray and play. In college basketball, we're more methodical. Your college basketball recruiting method is robotic. I want to get back into the college basketball game. I had a lot of fun playing that, so maybe once the baseball season is over, I might, because I tend to play Out of the Park Baseball until Franchise Hockey Manager comes out, and then I play Franchise Hockey Manager until Out of the Park Baseball comes out. It's just sort of how I do it. But I think what I might try to do is play Out of the Park Baseball until Franchise Hockey Manager starts, and then do a Franchise Hockey Manager, college basketball, and college football save that takes me through the winter and into the spring, and then we can get into Out of the Park 24, whenever that's going to be. So I think that might be my plan. I always liked the college basketball game. Might start another one. I did one a couple years ago with the University of New Hampshire as a, because that's where I went to school, as a promotion relegation league, which I thought was a whole lot of fun. I didn't stagnate. I continued to improve. I just sort of got bored with it after like 5 months and stopped. So anyway, all right, so Los Angeles Angels, we just finished year 5. We finished 80 and 82. We finished just a couple games out of the playoffs in our 5th season. That's just my Twitter notification that Chris says I'm now live. So I'm live. Off season tends to go pretty quickly because we can't do anything other than the Rule 5. We can't do anything, so we can do salary arbitration. So I think the first thing we need to do is just make sure we sign all of our minor leaguers. No reason not to. What am I doing? I'm going here and here and here. All right. I think our scouting situation is fine, right? Lenny Donardo is a good scout, if I remember correctly. It's been a couple weeks since I played, yeah. Oh, no, he's only regular favor tools, so we need to see if we can find a highly favor tool guys. Highly favors tool guy. There's nobody. Bridges minors. If Bridges was better at international scouting, you know what? I feel like this might make the most sense anyway. We are back, Breeze. Yes, we are. My nose is super itchy, as it always is. What do you think? Do we go? Because right now we have a scout who only favors tools, but he's like outstanding or legendary across the board. Do I go? Do I fire him and go with Brian Bridges, who's outstanding at amateurs and excellent in the minors? I don't really care about majors because by the time they get there, we should know how good they are based on our minors and our amateur scouting. But he's only average at international. Do we fire our scout and go with Brian Bridges instead? That's a question I have for you guys. We'll sim ahead a little bit. No one's going to sign him. He's been there for like 3 years. So we'll see. Arbitration. We got all these players to offer arbitration to. Again, we can sell players if we want to. We can sell players for 2 suggestions. The Hawks for franchise hockey manager and Stephen F. Austin for Draft Day Sports college basketball. They had some good years with Brad Underwood. Brad Underwood, it all comes back to the University of Illinois, doesn't it? It all comes back to the University of Illinois. I will not play the Chicago Blackhawks. As far as I'm concerned, that organization should be burned to the ground. So I will not play the Blackhawks. I'll figure out a different team to play, but it will not be the Blackhawks. You're right. They're going to be terrible, and I'm going to love every minute of it. So yes, we can sell players. We can sell players for cash, but we can't trade them for players. So let's just start signing players. Yeah, I have a huge issue, obviously, without. I don't want to get into the specifics because, I just don't want to. It's not the time or the place, but the Blackhawks organization, to me, should have been literally burned to the ground. Anyway. All right, so Brandon Marsh wants 2.4. He's not interested in talking, which is not a surprise because we've been playing him as a backup. You can do a how bad can we make the Blackhawks without getting canned? Yeah, trade Taves and Kane for like 7th round draft picks and just burn it all down. Adele was actually pretty good last year in limited in part-time play. His ratings, I mean, we've got so much money. Like it really doesn't matter. We have our scouting and development maxed. Yeah. I live in Chicago, but I'm a Bruins fan, but I've had conversations with Blackhawks fans who last year was it. Like they just didn't watch a single game this past season. And I respect them for that. I truly respect them for that. I've had people ask me if that's not what I wanted. I've had people ask me if I would want Patrick Kane on my team, and the answer is 100% absolutely not. Yeah, no, I want nothing to do with Patrick Kane on my team, and Jonathan Taves too. I mean, if all the stories are true that he knew what was going on and didn't say anything, he's just as guilty as the people who were doing it. I said I didn't want to get into it, and I got into it, so I'm going to stop getting into it. Let's talk about the Angels. So we're going to go through and we're going to offer contracts to pretty much everybody because there's no reason not to. Again, I always offer contracts in arbitration because if they are popular, you'll get a fan interest bump when they sign their contracts rather than actually taking it to arbitration. Jose Soriano, yeah, he wants 1.3. Does anybody want him? Can we sell him? Make him play for the Coyotes until he's 80 years old. The Coyotes, however, are actually pretty look like, although they're playing in a college stadium the next couple seasons. No, random task. I don't want to keep going. Can we get cash for him? I don't think we're going to be able to get anything for him. It's usually what I find out when I do this. Yeah. we'll just submit the offer, and if they don't want him, we'll just not offer him. FJ, I do this all the time. I do this with every single player that I have that's ARB eligible. I usually only sign them to the 1-year contract, unless it's somebody incredibly valuable. I might try to lock them up. But for these guys, I do it because you save money. Like, if it goes to arbitration, like, they'll almost always take a contract that's less than what you're offering in arbitration. So it just makes sense to do it. So Paris wants 3.7. I mean, again, not that we need to save the money, but the money's there to be saved. Let's withdraw the offer there. Detmers, 1.6. You don't even know what happened. You weren't paying attention. Taking pizza, you don't know what happened with the Blackhawks and the sexual assault scandal and everything that happened over the last, well, happened, 11 years ago at this point, but it all came to light last year. That's what we're referring to. So Joe Adell. I'm not signing Joe Adell to an uber long-term deal. That's ridiculous. I'll give him 1 year because I don't think he's going to duplicate what he did last season. And then Brandon Marsh isn't talking to us. Exactly, FJ. You're right. You're absolutely right. You guys can't see what I'm saying, so hold on. You guys can't hear me. Hold on. Yeah, I'm getting ads too. Oh, you can hear fine? Yeah, I got an ad too. So, those of you who got ads, why not sign Adell long term? Because at best, he's our 4th outfielder. So when the ads show up, does it go to ads for everybody? There we go, we're back. So when it goes to ads, does it go to ads for everyone or just some of you? Because Chris said, I don't know if Chris doesn't get ads because he's the man in charge, but does it go to ads for everybody? Or just some of us? It was long. It was like a 7-year deal. He wanted I don't know, anywhere from $3 million to $8 million a year. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but we've got Ward, Trout, and Knowles are our starting outfielders. We got Marsh as our 4th, who's the defensive guy. I mean, maybe he replaces Taylor Ward, but I mean, I guess he probably would. God, my nose is super itchy. I guess he would replace Taylor Ward, but we already... Oh, wait. Okay, so we have to... No, we are going to execute the option there. David Fletcher. We're going to execute the option because why not? Ads for all viewers who aren't subscribed is... gotcha. Okay, I hear what you're saying. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Chris, you should donate me a sub so I don't get ads. I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway... yeah. What were we doing? Oh, we've already offered ARB to everybody. Marsh is the last one. He's not interested in talking to us, so he'll probably sign. It'll probably be that 2.4 when we get to the off season. So let's just go ahead and sim ahead. Hey, I got a drop. I didn't get a sub, but I got a drop. Yeah, all right. I don't care. You give me $100,000 for him? Nope. All right, whatever. We're just gonna let him go. And this is what I find with most of these guys is No, Fletch God is no longer Fletch. He's not even starting. He's our backup middle infielder. We got Kyron Paris starting at second base. He's been a 2.5 win guy each of the last 2 years. And we got Robert Poisson as our starting shortstop. We picked him up in the Rule 5 draft. So he is not even starting at this point. So just how we put this team together for those of you who are kind of with us here for the first time. So I went through and I released everybody that was part of the Angels that wasn't a draftee or Shohei Ohtani. I kept Ohtani. I waived everybody else that wasn't a draftee of the Angels. Anybody who was traded to the Angels, anybody the Angels signed as a free agent, made them free agents. We have picked up Antonio Gomez, Carter Jensen, Logan O'Hoppe, all from the Rule 5. We picked up Kyron Paris. No, Kyron Paris was part of our system. We picked up Keone Cavocco as a Rule 5 guy. We picked up Alex DeJesus as a Rule 5 guy. Robert Poisson as a Rule 5 guy. We got the random talent bump for Deshaun Knowles. He's turned into a stud. The average is really low, but the ratings are there, and he's very good defensively. On the pitching side, Jackson Jobe was a Rule 5 guy last year. He went 10-4 with a 3.52. Carl Steven was a draft pick back in 2024. He's the 5th overall pick. Jose Suarez was not a Rule 5 guy. Most of our bullpen is Rule 5. Bachman isn't, but Foucher, I believe, is. Higgins is. Matoyer is. Murphy was not. Rodriguez was. Warren was. And Burl Carraway was. So, a lot of Rule 5. That's actually not a bad idea, FJ. There tends to be, and you see how I do it in my online or my offline saves that I post for like the Nationals and stuff. You know, it's really easy to draft a player in the Rule 5 and then turn around and trade them. I may want to start policing myself, and you know, not take any anybody under the age of, unless I'm a rebuilding team, you know, not take anybody under the age of 25 or not take a top 100 prospect or something like that. So it's something I may want to consider, but that makes sense. All right, we're getting there. Gold Glove. Those of you just dropping in, welcome to the channel. My name is Aaron, and this is our Draft to Glory with the Los Angeles Angels. We can only draft players via the first-year player draft, the Rule 5, and international amateur signing on July 1st. That is it. No free agents, no trades, no nothing. Did we win any Gold Gloves? We did not. Relievers of the year. AL goes to Josh Hader. NL to Nick Mears. Platinum Sticks. Any Angels? Yes, Mike Trout. That is it. Rookie of the Year. AL Rookie of the Year. Jacob Walsh of the Tigers. There's Jackson Jobe finishing 4th. Alex DeJesus finishing 6th. Cash is your Manager of the Year. Oliver Marmol for the whatever team that was, the Cardinals. Shane Baz wins your Cy Young. In the NL, it's Lucas Giolito. With the Pirates, it only took you 7 years to win the World Series with no Rule 5. You also only do GM only, except that you manage your bullpen, because, again, the AA sucks at that, too. Yeah, I mean, you see how I do it. I like to manage my team. I like to have that input. It's just sort of how I am with it. We had Trout finish, whatever that is, 12th, 13th, something like that. Bryce Harper wins it in the American League. I would love to start, so we get Marsh for 2.4, the player demanded 3. I would love to start an online league with the people in my Discord, to be honest with you. We've got, 26, 27 people in the Discord right now. I would love to put together an online league with the people in the Discord. In fact, that may be something I drop into Discord later tonight and see if there would be any interest in it. I know I'm in 3 leagues already. Random Task is in like 12. So I don't know if he would have any interest in doing another one, but yeah, I may throw something into the Discord and see if there would be any interest in that. If you're interested, I guess I should. I'm gonna hawk my wares. Bear with me here a minute, guys. That's my Discord. So if you're in the channel for the first time, you want to check out my Discord, that's where it is right now. There's 28 of us. We just had a new addition. Elwood just joined our Discord. I'm going to say hey to him. All right, so we're up to 28. So yeah, I might throw something in there and see if we can generate some interest. It might be fun. It has to have a reason to be interesting. What? The fact that it's my Discord isn't reason enough? We could even set the rules as a Discord. We could create the rules as a Discord group to make it interesting. How about that? Look at all these players that we can't sign. Seiya Suzuki's a free agent. Herman Marquez is a free agent. I always look at this just to punish myself to see if there's some stud out of Japan. Nope, nothing. All right, I'm going to sim up to Rule 5. It's kinda. What's kinda? Rodriguez. I think it would be fun. You know, there's literally almost enough of us there to create a full league. So, I'll throw it up, and if there's enough interest, maybe we can start one. I guess that would force me to be the commissioner, which I don't know if I want to do that, but we can talk about it. All right, Rule 5 time. Let's make sure there's nobody that we need to put on the Rule 5. Oh, look at all that. Okay. Dean Curley needs to go on the 40-man. Oh, we're going to have to make some room. We only have 39 spots. He's not going to get taken. He's likely not to get taken. He's likely not to get taken. I don't know that any of these guys are really likely to get taken. And if they do I really care? I kind of like Seth Halverson. Again, I don't think he gets taken, but Chase Shores. Dibs extending the Mariners. If we do this, we got to put Jet Williams on the 40-man. If we do this, I'm taking the Red Sox because I haven't been the Red Sox. I'm not the Red Sox in any of my other leagues. So if we're going to do it, I'm calling dibs on the Red Sox right now. One idea you wanted: all teams have the same budget, no draft. All new players are signed as free agents. All Major League max. How would that work? So, like, everybody's a free agent on day one, or there's no draft. So you're saying all the 18-year-olds, there's no draft. They all just become free agents, and then you spend your money however you want to spend your money. That's really interesting. Is there anybody on the 40-man that we don't need on the 40-man anymore? I don't know. We'll have to see what's on the. We'll have to see what's in the. We'll have to see what's in the 40-man, because I mean there are potentially players here that we can cut from the 40-man. I mean, I guess we can just, like, no one's going to take any of these guys if we... Well, I don't want to do Parker or Fletcher. But let's start with Eknes and Jackson. No one's going to take either of them. And I want to make sure that we have... spots in the Rule 5. Juice GGG. Thank you for the follow. And FJ, thank you, my man. Appreciate it. All right. Let's get into Rule 5. Where are we picking? Middle of the road? 14th? All right. Let's see what's available. What do we need? I guess let's look at that. If we clear the lineups... through the lineups. So we always need catching. Like, we can't figure out our catching situation. We have a really good bat in Carter Jensen, and we have a really good glove in Antonio Gomez, but we don't have anybody who is good at both. Rule 4 draft is gone. Replace like free agent. That we can start with fantasy draft or having all players be a free agent. Sounds like there'd be no team control other than extensions. Yeah, and I think what he's saying is what he's saying is that max contracts are 1 year. So you're literally re-signing, or can you, after you get through the initial signing, can you sign anybody you want for as long as you want? Or, so there are no extensions. So it's 1 year. So it's like, literally, it's like baseball in the 1930s with like the reserve clause. Like, you sign players to 1 year contracts every year. That's interesting. Has to be enough to field a team. Filter by infield, outfield, range, contact. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Scouting and development, or go hard in free agent. But you can't go hard in free agent because you can only sign 1 year contracts. Man, that would be really time consuming. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. That would be time. So right now, starting catcher is Antonio Gomez. Our starting first baseman is Jared Walsh. Our starting second baseman is Kyron Paris. Our shortstop is Poisson. De Jesus is our starting third baseman. Trout in center. Knowles in right. Ward's ratings have dropped. Maybe Adele is our starting left fielder right now. And then Marsh at the DH. I mean, we could use a bat, I guess. Like the reserve clause, except player, because you can sign somebody to a 1 year, $40 million contract, and if that's where he wants to go, that's where he's going to go. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know that I have. Oh no, Ohtani's our DH. I don't know if that's the. If I have the type of time that because that sounds like that would take a lot of time. That feels like it would take a lot of time. Because you're constantly turning over your team. Pitching. We always need pitching. And we could use a bat. And it's the easiest way to look at it. So, all right. Oops. FJ, this is what you were talking about, right? I mean, yeah. It's actually let's see, wait a second. What'd I miss? Would market size and fan loyalty stay controlled? Because after 10 years or so, the big markets would have a natural advantage over the small markets. You could get more guys on 1 year. I think he said, I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Random Task, but I thought you said everybody's budget would stay the same, right? So we've got Carson Queck in the Rule 5. I mean, I think it's, pretty much a no-brainer. We take Carson Queck and just kind of go from there and then see what's available. Yeah, he's not really a catcher, but, I mean, with the power, he can play outfield. I mean, his outfield ratings are fine. He can play corner outfield. And if the power develops, he's a power hitter. If the power doesn't develop, we can release him. All budgets are always the same. So, yeah, that would require whoever's running the league to go in and adjust it at the end of the season and then adjust it again at the preseason, right? The game calls them catchers. You call them first baseman. Right. Right. We talked about that in Discord the other day. So I'm just going to take him. Let's look at batters real quick and just make sure I'm not missing anything. Man, my nose is so itchy. This is killing me. Cam Collier is there. No, we'll take Queck. We needed a bat. We got a bat. You have to manually reset it. Yeah. No, man, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, that sounds interesting, Like if I were part of a league that did that, that I didn't have to do that myself twice a year, that would sound interesting. But I have no interest in doing that myself twice a year. So if you're volunteering, more power to you. But this is the kind of pitcher I love taking in the Rule 5. High stuff, high movement, sinker, slider, ground ball pitcher. I don't care if he's got bad control. Those are the types of players I want on my team. We lost Brett Carey. He's our starter, right? Yeah. It's fine. Check if anyone forgot to... Yeah, fielding ratings. I don't usually go into these ratings when I'm looking at the Rule 5. I guess I should. Blake Hunt's been in the Rule 5 like 4 times now. Doesn't look like it. RJ Mayer. This is somebody you and I were talking about the other day, FJ. Always waiting for that one sim where his offensive ratings catch up with his defensive ratings. Yeah, Random Task, I agree 100%. Want you in charge of anything. Yeah, RJ Mayer is somebody RJ Mayer and Josh Eknes I take in every single draft. Every single draft. Because I'm hoping that one day his offensive ratings turn him into an average player. You make him a center fielder and all of a sudden he's a stud. Yep, RJ Mayer. He just never develops, but it would be nice. Mario Zabala? I mean, he is what he is. He's not going to hit, but he's great defensively. Wow, he's really good defensively. 75 range. Yep, one day, one sim. You do enough sims, and RJ Mayer will eventually develop. He put a 5.4 WAR in high A ball. I'm going to take him because I love the defense. Yep, I can't take him because I have 40 men on my roster. Angeles. He was the Rookie of the Year, by the way, a couple of years ago. It's like a discount Pache. Yeah. Yep. Yep, we're going to drop Angeles. We're going to take that outfielder, and then we're going to call it a day. Zabala. All right, cool. We draft 3 players this year. Add contact and an eye to determine it. Yeah, I don't look at power. I mean, very much. I mean, if there's 2 guys who are the same and one has more power than the other, obviously I'm going to take the one with more power. But yeah, generally speaking, it's batting eye, contact, and his defensive ratings. Those are the 3 things that I look at, and with all those are like my 3 main things. All right, so let's go ahead and sim. Got nothing to do now. Taken. That's no surprise. You thought it was greed. Oh, greed is good. Yes. You use spreadsheets. There's a guy that I used to watch. He hasn't put out any videos in like the last year. But he did a Let's Play with the Giants last year, GBN. He used spreadsheets for like everything. And I loved just watching him play the game with his spreadsheets. I found it really interesting. I and avoid K. I don't mind the avoid K is not as important to me. Like I have a type, and like this is my type. But I prefer good eye, good contact. But if I have to pick a player, this is my type. The high gap power, high home run power, high eye and discipline. I love this. Or, alternatively, high contact, high home run power, and high eye. So this up, and this up. Those are like the three that I would prefer, but this is like my type. So anyway. All right, we're still simming. There's nothing we can do. You have spreadsheets. They help you identify better talent, but the problem is you can't acquire them. All right, we have $268 million, which is great. We can't do anything with any of it. Who cares? I wish I could put more money into scouting and development. See, that's kind of what I always thought Random Task was, that Avoid K was baked into contact. That if somebody has a really high contact rating, that they're not going to strike out much because they have very high contact. It's kind of the way I always thought it was. So Cal Steffen gets better. Again, this is the pre-spring training development report. So I wouldn't use spreadsheets. Like, I don't know enough about, like, the inside, like, I don't know enough about the, like, I would use a spreadsheet just to keep track of players, Chris. Like, I don't know enough about the inner workings of the game to break it down using spreadsheets, but I would use spreadsheets to keep track of players. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to keep track of a player that I wanted and I could sort, you know, and that sort of thing. But yeah, I wouldn't know enough about the game. So this guy's, why did it make him a batter or a pitcher? Stop it. Let's make him a left fielder. All right. Yeah, that's what I would use it for, Chris, is just to keep track of things. But yeah, as far as like trying to get into like how the game works, like I like that I it's not that I have no interest in it, because I do have interest in, like, you know, how the game works like it does. Like Random Task and I a couple weeks ago were talking about the what are they called? The pitcher abuse points system that the game has. You know, which is why if it feels like your players are getting hurt a lot at the end of the season, it's because they are. And like that would be neat to understand how that mechanic works. So that you can say, all right, if a pitcher throws, you know, because there's stats out there. If a pitcher throws this many number of pitches, you know, the pitchers who get hurt, you know, throw more or less pitches over the course of a year or whatever. Like, that stuff's available. You're part of a league where someone in the past or someone made a formula for every lineup change. Yeah, like that. Like, I have no interest in that. Like, it's a game. You know what I mean? Like, this is a game. It's supposed to be, like, maybe they find that stuff fun. If they find that stuff fun, great. But to me, it's a game, and it's like, all right, I know how I want to build a lineup, and that's how I'm going to build that lineup, regardless of kind of the inner workings of the game, so to speak. Track player progression. You played MLB The Show organization-wide. Took for, I bet. You're not hilariously bad at this game, though. You say you are, but you're not. Anybody we want to call up? No, but we can get rid of him. Always trying to make sure we save room in the international complex. Yeah, you're really hard on yourself. You always say that you're really bad at this game, but you're not. So Batista Peenhall, I think we're going to call up. He's 19 years old. We'll stick him in the DSL. We'll immediately... Ooh, Alex Martinez. Immediately lock these two guys down. Well, I know that you traded me a top 10 prospect for a 30-year-old pitcher. No, I mean, I can't, you know, like, I'm not gonna argue that with you, but I don't think you're bad at the game. There's stuff that that you've called me out on before. All right, pitching. Do we want to do anything with our rotation? Caceres, Jack Dashwood. I think we stick with the same rotation that we have. We'll go to a 6-man, and I think we go... They're both fly ball pitchers. Let's stick Rodriguez back in the rotation. Let's give him another shot. You thought Bieda was a bust. No, he's like the number 5 prospect in the game now. He's a 19-year-old in Double-A in that world. We'll just let the AI set the lineup for now. All right, who did it take out? Who do I want? I want Jet. Do I want Jet Williams out there at second base now? You can move. Jet Williams was our first draft pick, by the way, so I want to make sure he gets out there. So we're going to put Jet Williams at second. We're going to put... None of these guys have good enough arms to play. Like, Poisson is barely a shortstop. Paris is a second baseman, and that's it. Yeah, FJ, I build my team the way I want. You know, like I have a thing, and you guys know this. You know, from watching me play this game now for a couple of years, I love ground ball pitchers. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I try to build my team the way that I like, around the players that I have. You know, I know what quote unquote the meta is, but I like to build my team around, you know, if I have good infield defense, I want a bunch of ground ball pitchers. Playing in Coors Field last year, I want ground ball and movement pitchers. Like, I build it the way that is fun to me. Yeah, online, I'm finding that it's you know, the issues that you run into in real life are the same issues you run into in online games. Um, you know, I'm finding that in the world where I have the Oakland A's, that I just can't compete with the higher market teams. I can't afford the same players that they can afford. I just can't. So I end up having to come up with a different way to do things. All right, so what do I want to do? Is Jet Williams the second baseman? So's Kyron Paris. So's Poisson, technically. But Poisson's the best option at short we have right now with the range. Paris doesn't have the arm for third. But I think we're going to do this. I want Jet Williams starting at second base every day. All right, let's go. TCR is a great thing. TCR is a great, great thing. What's opening day? The 25th? Let's get up to like the 22nd. All right, fingers crossed so far. No injuries as of yet. All right. So no injuries. We are done with spring training. Aaron Rosick can get a... I don't know who Aaron Rosick is. Is he... Oh, because he's an extreme ground ball guy. He's terrible in this, but he's an extreme ground ball guy. My personal evaluation spreadsheet is a combination of a few people's work, one of whom is Aaron's best friend. I hate the... Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're going to go down that road, huh? Look, I didn't start with him. He told me that I was uninteresting and then admitted that he had never actually watched my stream, and I called him out on it. So, you know, it is what it is. But if you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna sling shade, be prepared to be called out on it. So, yeah, the guy's a chump in my book. All right, what do we got to do here? And the best part about it, Random Task, is that I now almost have as many subscribers on YouTube as he does, for what it's worth. When I get to that point, I'm going to make a big deal out of it. I just thought that was funny. He's got me by like 200 subs. He's got me by like 200 subscribers at this point. So I will catch him, and I will call it out when I do. Anyway, you got me all riled up now. I gotta send 6 pitchers down to AAA. Luke Murphy is going to be one of them. Parker Messick will be another. Robinson Pena. Option years, that's fine. Yeah, it's funny, right? It's funny. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny when I saw his total sub count and then I saw mine. But I'm going to leave it alone. It's the last I'm going to say about it. Connor Higgins, Calvin Foucher. Foucher wasn't particularly good last year. No, I would just tell you to go to Reddit and it's on Reddit somewhere. It's on the OOTP Reddit about yeah, right. Yeah, that's exactly right. He had so what happened was this guy, and I'm not going to name any name. You know what? I don't give a it was Sergeant Mushroom. I don't care. So last year when Out of the Park 22 started the drops the drops process, and Chris got GM Games approved for the drops thing. Sergeant Mushroom went through and he basically gave ratings, I guess, for lack of a better term, for all, not ratings, but descriptions of all of the channels that had drop capabilities. And he had really nice things to say about everybody. And then he gets to GM Games and basically says, well, they're basically the same as this, but less entertaining. So I responded with, well, I consider myself entertaining, even if you don't. And then through that process, got him to admit that he had never actually watched any of our streams. So he was just throwing out this random review without having ever watched me. It's just really weird. Like, I don't understand the point of it. But yeah, that's that. And it's fine. It just was funny. All right, so we still have to send 3 players down in the minor leagues. Taking pizza, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Well, FJ, I don't know. That's kind of the way I felt about online leagues at first, too. But I'm in 3, and really it takes me 10 minutes, 15 minutes to set my teams, and that's it. And it's 3 days a week. So I spend, like, I don't know, Monday, Wednesday. I have 2 leagues that are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and then another one that's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Right? I think the third one is Sunday as well. And it doesn't take me more than 10 or 15 minutes. It's a lot of fun. If it's ever anything you were interested in, let me know, and I'm absolutely can get you into... You banned Taking Pizza? You don't need to ban... You can time him out. You don't need to ban him. He's one of our regulars, but that's funny. All right, so we're going to send Caceres down. But yeah, if you're ever interested, FJ, let me know. Certainly have leagues that we could get you into when the time comes. 2 more pitchers. Suarez is bad. All right, well, it's fine. We'll DFA him. He banned Taking... That's funny. Oh, and then Austin Warren, I think, as well. He's up. Fine. Whatever. I don't care. Good. Go. Leave. No, I read it. It's yeah, I mean, I'm listed as a mod, so I can see it, but he just has a tendency to post random stuff, so. All right, so Ohtani, Job, Stefan, Detmers, Rodriguez. What does this want to do with our bullpen? Carraway, Bachman, and Dashwood as our setup guys. Matoya, Alvarado, and Higgins as our middle relief. Hamlet, Vasquez as our long relief. Then Manuel Rodriguez, middle relief. I don't like those guys as my setup, man. Ryan is probably looking to kick. I know Ryan is looking to kick someone. He asked me last week if I knew anybody that was interested in playing because he's looking to move on from somebody. I don't remember who it was, but this was right after Cincinnati. Right after he booted the guy from Cincinnati who bailed because he got taken on a trade. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't like Bachman and Dashwood as my... I don't want... No, I'm going to do this. We already have... Yeah, that's fine. We can have... Oh, I don't care. Do I want Dashwood? No. I want Higgins as my specialist. Go like that. All right. And then our lineup, how many players do we have to send down? 33, got to send 7 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof. 6. And we have too many outfielders. And he can't play first base. And is he really ever going to turn into anything? He was good in A-ball, but I'd rather have Zabala for the defense. I don't care. They can have him back. It's great. They can have him back. All right, let's set the lineups. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have tried to trade him and got cash for him, but, you know, it is what it is. All right. So Trout, number 3. Ohtani, number 4. Sean Knowles is our leadoff hitter. Even Chris Pratt. Yes, he can. It took him a little bit of practice, but he learned how to pick it down at first. Who's going to bat second for us? Carter Jensen? We bat our catcher second? 60, 60, 55, 55. It feels like it makes the most sense. No, because I want Jared Walsh. I want Walsh behind Ohtani. The best player I've had in any of my playthroughs. Let's see. We did... Wozniak was last year with Colorado. Yes, the issue is that... on my channel last year, I didn't stick with one team that long. Like, I did Detroit, and then we moved on, and then we moved on, and then we moved on. So I think last year it's Wozniak, and this year it was probably Julio Lujan so far. You know, we still got some time, but Julio Lujan with my Diamondbacks playthrough was probably my best player so far this year. You were explaining the Sergeant Mushroom thing to your wife, and she said, I'm the most interesting streamer that you watch. Well, thank your wife for me. I don't even know her, and I always knew that I liked her more than you. So we're going to bat Carter Jensen second. Poisson will bat 6th and play shortstop. Lujan was great. Yeah, Julio Lujan was really good. So we need left field, third base, and second base. So I think... Do we want to go... I think we go defense this year. I want to try something a little different. Let's go with a better defensive outfield with Brandon Marsh in left field. Trout in center and Knowles in right. And then against lefties, we can play Adele. DeJesus will bat 8th, and Jet Williams will bat 9th, playing second. Paris every third game. Gomez every third game. Adele... Yeah, you're not very likable. You're not very likable. But as long as you realize, as long as like you like outside of you realize that you're not very likable, you're kind of likable. Does that make sense? Like as long as I know that you're difficult to deal with, like I can deal with you. So, and this comes from somebody who's naturally difficult to deal with. So, all right, let's copy this. I don't want to be here all night. It's already 8:30. All right, well that's fine. Looks like it's gonna be a bit of a longer stream here tonight. Not a problem. So we're gonna get Adele in there against lefties. Do I want to make any other changes? Yeah, Jensen's not gonna bat second. Excuse me. Let's move Poisson into the number 2 hole. I like that power. Well, that's what family is intended to do. They're supposed to make you feel bad about yourself. And we'll leave it like that, I think. Generate depth chart. Kyron Paris, Gomez. Yeah, that's fine. Let's get to opening day. Yeah, that's fair. You know, humor cures a lot. Let's see where it thinks we're going to end up. So we went 80 and 82 last year. We've only had 1 winning season, but we only had 2 winning seasons last year when we did this, and we ended up winning it all in our 2nd winning season. So Alfredo Yazquez, the number 3 prospect in baseball, is 21 years old. He's still only 1 star. You don't really get things like that. You don't think you're likable. You're fine. Just nobody likes political talks, and I don't think you were necessarily trying to be political. I think you were trying to be funny, and it just came off as weird more than anything else. So I wouldn't worry about it. Anybody we want to move up? Holtman can move up based on his ratings. Maddox Matichuk can probably... Ugh, who cares? It's terrible. Him up. No, let's do this first. All right. Anybody else need to go up? Boston Kellner should probably go up at this point. No, Chris, I just think he was just posting something weird. I don't think he was necessarily I don't think he was trying to be political. I just think he was being weird. And that's fine. I mean, weird's fine, but politics are politics, so I understand why you did what you did. All right, let's get to simming the season. Let's see what they think. Let's see how they think we are going to do. That's not where I wanted to go. This is where I wanted to go. They think we're going to win the division. 89 and 73. Hang on, I gotta take my Claritin. That might be part of the issue I'm having up here. My office is really dusty. All right, so they think we're gonna go 89 and 73, hit the most home runs in the American League, and have one of the best ERAs in the league. Are you just saying that because she's sitting there? Because, I mean, I do that stuff, too. You know, I don't want to get into trouble. No, but I'm right there with you. My wife is an infinitely better person than I am. 100%. My wife is a fantastic human being. Oh, we're going to have to put Yazquez on the 40-man next year. Hopefully the development comes around. FJ, yeah, I've played a lot of front office football. I have... Let's see, can I show you? Can I bring it up here? I don't know how to bring this up. I don't know how to do this. I really don't know how to use OBS. You just got to bear with me here. Does it work if I do it like that? And like that? And then here? Well, I guess not a lot. 132 hours. So I've played it. Yeah. GM Games did a review. Yeah, I had a playthrough with the Raiders. It's on my channel somewhere. I think I got through like a season or something. Taking pizza. Have a good night, man. Have a good night. So we're 3-3 through our first 6. No. Yes, Kez gets better. He's up to 2. No, wait. His overall said he went from 1.5 to 2. But he's still showing 1 stars. 1 star. Alright, let's go. Let's sim. It's all about just getting into the playoffs and then hoping, you get that hoping you get that wild card bump. The game loves. Yeah, it's a fun game. I just wish, the guy who owned the company sold the rights to the game, so it's never going to be updated. So any new updates to the game. In fact, I checked recently. I think I checked last week sometime to see if there were new mods for updated rosters, and I didn't see anything. Well, this hasn't been a good start. 14-19 at the end of May. Yeah, you have a good night too, taking pizza. See you later. And we're middle of the pack. 7th in runs scored, 8th in runs against. So I guess that makes sense. I would assume our Pythagorean theorem will have us around 500. Yeah, we're 4 games under our Pythag. So we're 14-19 and outscoring our opposition. So Jet Williams has gotten off to a decent start. He's down to 2 stars. Wonderful. Brandon Marsh. So that whole switching to defense thing isn't working. Poisson's hitting $168. Jim Gindin. Who is Jim Gindin? Is he the guy who did the front office, who created the front office football games? So what do we do? I think we stick with what we have because Taylor Ward's not really any better. You tried it for 30 minutes. Is the dev of front office football? Well, used to be. Or is he the one who had front office football sold to him? Or was he the guy who sold it? You tried it for 30 minutes, got confused because all you know about football as a recently depressed Seahawks fan is... Gotcha. Football's not a hard sport to learn, really. But Ward hasn't been... he's been fine this year, but... I don't know. I still feel like leaving Marsh out there is the right move. Even with his one... He's who sold it to EA Sports and then it flopped. Of course it flopped. Pitching-wise, we need to make any changes there. No, our rotation looks okay-ish. Yeah, I knew this was going to be a Bachman... Yeah, I don't want fly ball pitchers being used in any sort of important type situations. Yeah, EA. Yeah, EA destroying something. What a surprise! The game I think I have played more, well, not, Out of the Park Baseball is a game I played more than anything else. But prior to that, prior to OOTP, I played NHL 95 for my PC back when I was in high school. And I must have played that thing hundreds of hours. My Cam Neely slap shot was absolutely deadly in that game. That's when I stopped playing EA Sports games, was right after that. So we got Trout hitting $191. Ohtani hitting $213, getting off to another slow start. Our offense not hitting. We're batting $224 as a team. What am I looking at? I want to look at in front office. I think it's time to get rid of Joey DeMonte. Team has hit below 243 of the 4 years we've had him on our team. And even FIFA I stopped playing in college. FIFA 98 was the last one I played. Coach ratings, hitting coach. Alex Cabrera. Yeah, let's offer Alex Cabrera. Gets along really well with almost everybody. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Damn it. Let's try that again. That does mean, however, that I need to offer a pitching coach and a hitting coach. Guess I probably should have looked at that. Jason Esposito, sure. Nope, Trey Hannum. All right. Super sucky since FIFA 16. Yeah, I think FIFA 98 was the last FIFA game I played. Just showing my age here a little bit. On the original PlayStation. All right, let's see if we can bounce back a little bit playing underneath our Pythag. We're 8 games out of first place. We're 3 games out of a wild card through 1 month. We keep losing. That's not good. We played all the EA Sports. Stop with the messages and stop losing games. Played all the EA Sports stuff religiously for like 8 years until enough was enough, and since about 2017, you refused to give EA any money at all. Yep, I bought Madden for the first time in like a decade, 2 years ago, and it was awful. And I went, I never want to play this again, and I stopped playing the game, and I played it for like a week, and that was it. To FIFA's credit, the last couple of years, they've revamped the presentation. Leagues of actual graphics, and they have the UEFA Championships League, and the gameplay dwarfs Madden. I still prefer Football Manager to FIFA. Because, again, I prefer the GMing version of it. And the problem with Football Manager, they don't know enough about the game of soccer to do it successfully, so I'm really, really bad at it. So I try to play in the I try to play MLS because it's the only thing I'm familiar with. Like I don't know enough about the game. Like I was watching Cards. GM he posted something on the GM Games Discord about how because he didn't know enough about the rules, his starting goalie got hurt. And because he was outside of a transfer window, he ended up having to play like a 17-year-old one-star guy in goal for the end of the season. And that's like the kind of stuff that I would do. I would just screw it up. All right, so we can't hit. We can't hit. We have 3 players in our starting lineup batting under 200. We have 5 players in our lineup, 6 players in our lineup batting under 220. Chris Rodriguez has been a disaster on the mound. So let's go back to Bachman on the mound and Rodriguez there. Football Manager. Yeah, it is. I had a lot of fun playing it. I was really bad at it, but I had a lot of fun playing it. So we're getting to that point where we're bad and now the players on our team are pissed and they all want to be traded. And we lose our closer for 3 weeks and our wonderful. So this is where shit starts to fall apart. Voucher, I guess. Higgins is our closer. He was our closer before and did really well. Usually GM FIFA as well. It's 2 to 3 months for Stefan. Damn it. I assume that it's very similar to the difference between OOTP and the show, where OOTP is just far more involved than the show is. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess we'll call Suarez back up. Guys, I don't know if we're going to make it through a whole season. I don't know that I'm going to be able to stream for another hour and a half. Falling apart is kind of my shtick, yeah. But we made the playoffs 2 years ago. So I was anticipating that we would be better this year. But so, I mean, we're just a bit of a winning streak there. We're up to 5 games under 500. Kellner gets better. Ward gets worse. I think his contract is up. Yeah, so we'll walk away from him. Yazquez up to 1.5 stars. We can probably call him up now to high A. Yeah, Mike, I remember this pick back in 2025. It was just a bad draft. We will see how far I can get tonight. I might just get through the draft and call it. We'll see. We'll see. See how quickly we can get to the draft. You're only as good as your last playoff appearance. That's a very good point. 3 games under 500, 2 games under 500. So we're making a run. We are 33 and 35. We're 5 games out of first place. We are 3 games out of a wild card. We still can't hit. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players batting under 220. Jet Williams having an okay rookie season. All right. Let's go. You'd agree, although the scouting engine in FIFA is very in-depth in terms of finding players due to the sheer volume of them all over the world. Does it use all of the transfer rules and stuff like Football Manager does? Hey, we're over 500. Look at that. And just as I say that, we lose 2 games in a row to fall back to 500. But hey, I'll take it. Considering where we were, 11 and 16, 14 and 14 in May, 12 and 7 so far here in June. So 3.5 games out of first place, 3 games out of a wild card. All right. Well, we're right in it. After 10 years, you should be feeling... Yeah, I would think that after 10 years, we should be close to kind of getting where we need to be with this. You know, I mean, all those players that we've drafted should be part of the team now. You know what? No, we are going to... Rusty Kuntz is never leaving this team. Lenny DiNardo will wait. Yeah, they want to trade us players. I appreciate that. Yazquez now the top prospect in the game. What was I going to do? Oh, I want to re-sign my coaches. Personnel offer to all expiring. 4.5 out of first place. 4 out of a wild card. Chris Rodriguez gets suspended. Man, he has been useless for us. So we got over 400, or under 400, under 500. We're now back to 3 games under, and injuries are starting to take effect. I guess we'll just put them both on the DL. It's a pitcher and a second baseman. We'll call up Curley, and we will call up Murphy. Nice extreme fly ball. Austin Warren. So Paris will go into the lineup. All transfer windows are accurate, and there's release clauses and everything, along with development plans, which is a big variation from previous titles. It's cool to buy a 21-year-old winger or scout a 15-year-old and watch him become a superstar on the world stage. Is Freddie Adu in the game? That's all I want to know. Freddie Adu, is he in the game? After 10 years of a rebuild... You aren't an annual contender. You messed up. Yeah. You were playing as the Mariners on Out of the Park 22. You were 15 games under 500. You won 15 in a row. Yeah, that's frustrating. Like, you get up to that 500 mark and you're feeling good about it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, crap. No, tough. Last thing you need is another sports GM game. Yeah. Freddie Adu was the big name when soccer was really starting to become popular in the U.S. when MLS started. So we're 3 games under 500, 6.5 games out of a wild card. Adonis Guzman gets a little better. Campbell Smithwick, another player I like to draft. He gets a little better. 6.5 out of first place, 4 out of a wild card. More spreadsheets. It's all about the spreadsheets. Hey, our average is up. Trout and Ohtani are both over 200 now, but we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players batting below 230 in our starting lineup. We're 11th in runs scored. We're 5th in runs against. So offense continues to be a problem, so we need some of these young guys to start hitting the baseball and moving their way up the minor league system. Shreddy, you're 27-17 with the Orioles in the first year using the waiver wire like a madman. That is how you should do it, my man. Use that waiver wire to your advantage. International amateurs. David Canton. OSA likes him. We like him. I don't know if that changeup ever develops, though. That's the problem. Humberto Mendoza looks average. Again, a changeup that's likely never to develop. A catcher who can't catch. Got a shortstop who's not really a shortstop. Another shortstop. His nickname is Village Idiot, which is fantastic. Offline waiver wire is wild. Yes, it is. Luis Posadas, the nickname of Village Idiot. I want to sign him just because of that nickname, but I don't think I'm going to. It's a glorious nickname. I think we're just going to go after Canton. Big Cheese, 6'6", 195-pound right-hander. His name is David Canton, and he's Venezuelan and Spanish. Sure. Okay, you say so. We're going to offer David Canton, the Venezuelan Spanish 16-year-old right-hander, $5 million. My guess is he's not going to take it based on what he's telling us here, but we will see. We need to win some ball games. We lose there. We lose again. Yep, Canton's not coming to us. I didn't think he was. Rafael Ortega. I don't know Rafael Ortega. Let's take a look. I spelled his name wrong. He's retired in our playthrough. 35 years old. Okay. What was I looking at? Oh, international amateurs. The most frustrating sim in recent memory was the Cubs pre-All-Star break. We'd be crushing it, and then as soon as we get to the break, everything would fall apart. I think, random task, I think it was you who told me, we're going to go after Village Idiot, and I'll just make him a second baseman. I think it was you who told me that some of this stuff is built into the game already, right? That, like if you have a player who the game says is going to hit 30 home runs in a season, if he hits 25 pre-All-Star game, you can just sort of assume that he's only going to hit a handful of home runs after the All-Star break. Was it you who told me that? So we win. I'm just going a day at a time until we can get an answer on that, on Mr. Village Idiot. Williams eligible to come off the DL. Curley can go down. Williams, I don't know. Kyron Paris is playing better. I'm just going to leave Kyron Paris out there. Jet Williams, our first round pick, has been pretty bad. Did we sign the Village Idiot? We did. The Village Idiot, Luis Posadas, we bring on board. Second baseman, looks meh, but you got to spend the money. Got to spend the money. It's a home run challenge. I'm like, they won a game 17-16. All right, let's get up to the draft. Let's see what we can do about making our team better. It's been a bad stretch. Bad stretch. Bad stretch. All right, so we're 45 and 50 at the draft. 8 games out of first place, 7 games out of a wild card. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen this year. Our pitching staff has been fine. Again, we continue to have one of the best bullpens in baseball. Even our starters ERA at 8th, I have no problem with, but we just can't hit. We just can't hit. I think Yazquez goes up to Double-A now. I don't want to rush these guys, but at the same time, like, I need them in the lineup. I mean, Trout's hitting 205. Ohtani's hitting 213. Like, I can't justify it. It used to be that there is a number of home runs hits that is normal for the league, and the players' ratings determines how much of a share you can reasonably expect them to get out of that. So a guy with 80 contact is the only 80 contact guy can be reasonably assumed to lead the league. I mean, that makes sense. It seems like whatever the preseason predictions are, you end up within 3 or 4 of that record. Yeah, there are occasional, crazy, Pythagorean swings. So we're picking 14th. What are we looking at? Batting potential. All right. So, yeah, there's some good names here. They want us to take Jonathan Metz. He's not a center fielder. He's not terrible. He's not a center fielder. So, here's the deal. So, in my Nationals save, I turned down a 2.5-star, 4-star third baseman. And Random Task read me the riot act about it. And that guy ended up hitting 30-plus home runs as a rookie. So we need offense. We have a 21-year-old, 6'5", 200-pound, 3.5-star, high work ethic outfielder who could play left or right now for us. Or we've got players who aren't as good but are younger. Like Sean Burmeister could be our shortstop of the future. You saw the Reds finish 11 games better than they're expected. Ah, yes, the Batanti effect. Yes, you know all too well what I'm thinking. So, if they're likely to hit 30, yeah, that's what you were telling me. So do we go after someone like Connor Griffin, who is probably a lower ceiling guy, but there's less room for error, I guess, given his age and his ratings and stuff? Or do we go after a potentially better player who is younger? Right. That was the argument that Random Task made to me on Discord in the National save, was that Batanti could have been playing in the big leagues right away. So, is it Connor Griffin? Is that our first pick? Let's just make sure there's no, like, absolute monster starting pitchers. Holy crap. Okay. So what do we do? Do we take Connor Griffin, or do we go after Shamel Agason? College bats tend to fall off quickly. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that we may get a year or two out of him before he sort of levels out and becomes, a 1.5, 2 WAR kind of guy. That doesn't mean take a fully developed 50-50-50 guy over an 80-60-50 guy, but if it's a 65-65-65 developed guy, why take the risk? So then what do you think? You think Griffin's the guy? Noah says Griffin for sure. Yeah, see, FJ, that's the way I am too. I always go for potential. That's just the way I've always done it. But after getting burned by Batanti, I'm sitting here going, Griffin could be our starting left fielder next year. Is this the guy? Connor Griffin the guy? We got one yes for Connor Griffin. In this case, since it's draft only, you'd go Griffin. All right, so we got 2. So unless someone is absolutely 100% against it, Griffin, I think, is going to be our pick. If you pay attention to his development, he should be a 3-win guy for a handful of years. All right, Connor Griffin. That's our pick. All right, so the second pick, they want us to take Sam Hart, third baseman who can't turn the double play, but looks like he has a pretty good bat. Aaron Ferenkrug. That's a name. It's a great name. Catcher that can't catch. Potential talent is hypothetical. Yeah, you're right. 99% of the time, you never take high school pitchers in the first or second round. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, that makes sense. But it's just so hard when you see someone like that sitting there. It's like, you know, he could be a stud. So do we take a shot on him? See, now I'm just looking for, like, more developed guys. That is a great potential talent is hypothetical. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And especially, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to, like, I don't want to spin my wheels with this. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make I want to make an impact. I want some of these players to actually develop into something. Kind of like Ian Cronin. He's 21, a little bit further developed, decent enough catcher rating. Again, you don't need the 65 catcher rating in Out of the Park 23 like you did in 22. Chris Dudley. He can't shoot free throws, but looks like he has pretty good contact. You like Sharp, too. See a pitcher? Josh Sharp. How did Cam Collier develop? I don't know. Let's look. Okay. Number 98 prospect in the game. He's still only 22. I think he was in the Rule 5, and we just didn't take him. Perhaps I should have, but yeah, right now he's in Toronto. Potential has value, but when it's close, I lean towards the more developed guy. Also, highly favored tool scouts. Some of that potential is fool's gold. Collier was in the Rule 5. Yeah, right. Collier was in the Rule 5. All right, so who do we take with our second pick, guys? I didn't mind the catcher, Ian Cronin. His catcher ability is fine. The bat looks okay. Ferenkrug, I think, looks like a decent pick as a second baseman, I guess. And he'd be all right at second base with a high work ethic. Sam Hart, good bat, potentially. McKenzie. You'd go Cronin over Ferenkrug. Who's got the best infield, outfield range? Greg Candido, Ernie Bartusek, but horrible personality. Billy Bifano, I like him, but he'll probably be there with the next pick. Wow, look at that. That's obnoxiously good. If he's there later, I'm going to take him. Randy Matina. You go Cronin over Ferenkrug, but look at Dudley. There's some really good defensive players. We may jump right into the defense here in the next round or two. Let's go back to batting potential. Dudley. He's not a center fielder. I mean, at best, he's a left fielder. And it's all dependent on that contact. So if the contact doesn't develop, he's got nothing. So I'm going to take Cronin with the second pick. And then, yeah, Bartusic is still there. He was one of those crazy good defensive guys, but his personality's trash. Andy Corrigan. He looks like he could be really good. Who do they think we should take? Edgar Cholula. Third baseman. I want to say like some more than us. It's a good bat, potentially. He's only 17 years old, so who the hell knows? Is this Jim's son? I would imagine it's Jim's son. It's a catcher that went to school in Manhattan. Feels like that should be Jim Leyritz's kid. I'm gonna take Randy Matina. I love the glove, high work ethic, high intelligence. He's got an 80 outfield arm, so he can play anywhere on the infield and he can play right field. You'd go Chula. Chula over Matina? Matina is fun. That's kind of why I was looking at him. I mean, a right fielder / shortstop is not something you see every day, but that 80 arm is hard to pass up. I'm going to take Matina. Chula's still there. Now I can take Chula, so that works. Yeah, I know, but all things being equal, I'm going to take somebody with the better personality, right? If you've got... Yeah, that's a good idea. No, that's a really good idea. It should do that. Let's take a look. We haven't taken any pictures yet. Is there anybody worth grabbing here? Or are we looking at high work ethic, low greed, 18 years old, 3 good pitches, ground ball pitcher. We need to take a pitcher. I guess we don't need to take a pitcher, but I'm going to take a pitcher anyway. So these guys are all still available. It's just crazy, man. That is ridiculous. 70, 75, 75. Josh Carey. Yeah, we're going to take Josh Carey. Yeah, right? Eric Young Jr. We're going to take Josh Carey. Ron White, 65, 80, 55. It's ridiculous, man. Let's look at individual pitch potential. Let's see if we can find ourselves a pitcher. Tommy Luch. Yuck. Jamarcus Petrosky. That's a name. Nihomar Ochoa Acosta. Extreme fly ball pitcher. Stappish Blake. Yuck. Yuck. This is a bad... Look at this. Guy's got 5 pitches as an 18-year-old. Junior squared, yes. Or would he be junior the third? Would he be... I guess technically he'd be the third. Would he be squared or would he be... What's the next one up? I don't know math. I'm not all that bright. That's why I play video games. It allows me to think I'm smart. Zach Walker looks okay. Meh. Not a good draft, really, for pitchers. Jeff Mayo. There we go. I'm taking Jeff Mayo because we got a knuckleballer with 70 stamina and high work ethic. I don't care that he's a half star. He's 21 years old. He's got a slider, a changeup, and a knuckleball. I'm not missing out on that. I'm just taking him. That's the way it is. Junior Eric Young Jr. Yuck. Gross draft. All players. Contact. And I don't know what I'm looking for. I think I'm going to find like a stud in here going through and looking at it this way, but keep looking nonetheless. Cubed. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Cubed was what I was looking for. They're always worth it for the memes, if nothing else. I don't think that's the first knuckleballer I've ever taken. Bob Hawkins. All right, we're drafting people based on defense, guys. We're going defense the rest of the way. Screw it. Here we go. A high leader, 20-year-old catcher, very good catcher ability. We're going defense the rest of the way here. Abel Messenger looks good. You got a junior? That's what I'm hoping for, FJ, is that TCR gets a hold of him. Ron White. We will take him. He'll tell me I'm a redneck. Isn't that the guy's name? Ron White? That's what you were saying by Ron White? Well, no, the redneck jokes are what's his name, but he's part of that redneck group, right? Am I thinking of the right guy? Andy Anderson. I'm going to take him because he's really good defensively. Yeah, neither have I. I haven't seen one work either, but we'll see what happens. So Leaf Wither. We are going defense here. I think we might be... Greg Candido is going to be that last elite defensive player. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Ron, that's the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Thank you. It's also got what's his name, the cable guy, right? Is that his name? Ooh, Tommy Razzie. Composure needs a bit of work and may improve as he matures. Okay, well that's enough for me. And the 29th round pick reserved. Larry the Cable, yes. He's from Massachusetts? Is he really? I didn't know that. We got some hillbillies in Massachusetts. They're mostly out in western Massachusetts. Like, that's where the real hillbillies exist. Western Massachusetts, out by New York. That is hillbilly territory for sure. Play. Quadir Folins. Memes. Quadir. Yes, sir. You have to sign a Taiwanese knuckleballer. Like, I get it. I'm with you. Art Strobel. Lou Schexnader. Come on. I mean, it's almost like they're making the end of this draft easy on me. Like, here are the names. These are the people you want to take. Just take them based off names. His persona is a parody of his college roommate from Georgia. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I just assumed he was a hillbilly. He was the one who can't. Yeah, we're going to take him anyway. I don't care. All about the defense in this draft, I guess. Colt Klein. Nope. Dave Nelson. Nope. Nope. Sure. Got high work ethic. One last pick. Let's look at who's got the highest power. Nathan Aceves. We'll take him. Perfect. All right, there's the draft. All right. Negotiate. We can just sign everybody because we've got cash coming out of our butthole. And I guess we will sim through the end of the season since there's nothing else we need to do. It shouldn't take too long. And I don't have any work I need to do tonight. So the last pick is reserved for the guy with the most talent. Oh, good. We lose Trout for 6 weeks. That's just a friggin' awesome way to come out of the draft is to lose Mike Trout for 6 weeks. Friggin' wonderful. All right, so I guess Joe Adell goes in and plays center field. And Joe Adell, Taylor Ward will come in and play left, and then Adell will be the center fielder, I guess, is how we'll do it. Wonderful. Terrific. All right. Now, can we win without, we'll call up Calabrese, can we win without Mike Trout in the lineup? I guess he's only hitting $190, so it's not as if he's, oh, look at that. What's his name is hurt, isn't he? Yep, there he is, fractured hand. Of course he's hurt. Silvio Dante. I have never watched a single episode of The Sopranos. It's the one like popular TV show that I've just never watched. I don't think we're making it this year, guys. Lose Kyron Paris for 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, so my trainer is it's Rick Jameson. I mean, like that's right. He's the meme. He's the guy. Curly up. You guys can't hear me talking, so we'll just sort of have to wait. You'll just sort of have to wait for me. Oops, what am I missing here? First, second, third. Come on, ads. Hurry up and finish. Hey, we're back. All right. So we are fifth. Let's get up to the deadline. We're gonna start to get some players back in August, I think. I don't know if it's gonna matter at this point, as we are 11 games out of first place and we are 7.5 out of a wild card. We got to catch Seattle, Baltimore, and the Twins over the last couple of months. I don't suspect that. Look at these terrible batting averages. I don't know what to do. Let's just go back to sabermetric and see if it works. Yeah, I've literally never watched an episode of The Sopranos. I mean, I have HBO Max. I suppose I could, but I've just never watched it. All right, so we are into August. It looks like it's going to be another down season for us. Oh, he's out for 2 months. Wonderful. Wonderful. I assume all of our players have signed. Connor Griffin, we're going to start him in Double-A. Chula Cronin, Martina, disable. Let's look at some of these stats and move some of these guys up. Oh, good. I let him play 15 games in rookie ball because I'm a dummy. All right, well, he'll start in Double-A. He'll be up next season. All right, so I guess we just sim a month, see what happens. Stefan is eligible to come back. That's good. So who goes down? Caceres. People hopefully starting to come back will help us out. We can get hot down the stretch. We get Trout back in 2 weeks, Foucher back in 2 weeks. So we get everybody back in 2 weeks except for Bachman. So keep our fingers crossed. What's a retirement community? The first funniest show, of course, I don't know. My two favorite TV shows of all times are Scrubs and Community. Those are the two shows that I love more than anything else. In fact, I'm rewatching Scrubs for like the 8th time right now. Those are my two favorites. Those are my two favorite sitcoms. My father was a saint. My father? My father wasn't a saint. He was a good guy, but he wasn't a saint. What slander? I'm trying to keep up, I think, with multiple conversations here, and I'm completely missing out on it. 13 games out of first place, 8.5 now out of a wild card. Yeah, I think our season is done, but we're gonna keep simming. Yeah, I don't know what either of you are talking about right now. Voucher's eligible. Hey, we scored 16 runs. Look at that. Rodriguez is hurt. He's out for a week. It's fine. You know what? We'll just put him on the 15-day. We'll bring Foucher up. Put him in long relief. 16 runs. Quoting The Sopranos out of context is surprisingly hilarious. Oh, is that what you think? Is that what you guys are doing? I couldn't tell. We had a lot of home runs, but our offense is just not good. Knowles with 2, Ohtani, Jensen with 2, Poisson, Marsh, Walsh. 11.5 out, 7 out of the wild card. I don't think it's happening. Harris eligible to come back. Curley will go back down. Harris will come back up. Trout eligible to come off the DL. Calabrese will go down. Trout will come up. We'll get him back in the lineup. Center field, left field. We got all these players that are hot in our lineup, yet we're still 12.5 games out of first place, 9 games out of a wild card. Yeah, we need like a 21-5 September or something. Caraway's eligible to come back now. All right, we're getting there. Starting to get some healthy players. Suarez has actually been pretty good, so I got to leave him in the rotation. Rodriguez has been terrible, so he refuses to be demoted. No, I don't care if you refuse to be demoted. You're going to get DFA'd. I'm sure somebody gets hurt at some point here. Higgins has been fine as the closer. We're going to make Caraway a middle reliever for now. Middle reliever, backup closer. Rick and Morty is funny. I've never watched Rick and Morty, but I know it was made by Dan Harmon. That's part of the reason there is no Community movie right now. It's because he's still working on Rick and Morty. Losing Ohtani is a dick punch, but that's okay. Designated for assignment. Players clear waivers first. All right, well, then we're just going to wait a couple of days. None of these guys, I guess Dashwood can start, although he's been really good as a reliever this year. Who's our DH? So Ward can be our DH against lefties, I suppose. And against righties, it really doesn't matter. Calabrese, I suppose. Call him up. Get him in the lineup. Get Trout out of the lineup for now. you guys are just having a blast over there, aren't you? I'll just let you do your thing. You guys just do you. We have 7 outfielders on our team right now. All right, Zabala, it's just not working. Need to get Rodriguez. Not Rodriguez. We need to get... What am I doing? Injury list. Rodriguez. Get him back in there as a long relief / middle relief. Is there anything we can do to try to turn this around? We're 13 and a half games out of first place. We're 9 games out of the wild card. I think we're just playing out the stretch. Without Ohtani for 6 weeks, yeah, it's not looking good this year. Asking for assignment. He refuses to be demoted. I guess we can just do this. AKA Leowan. Thank you for the follow. So we win again. So we've won a few games in a row. I mean, it's something. I mean, like I said, we need to go like 21-5 or something like that in the postseason to really have a shot. Austin Warren can come up, and Alcantara, I guess. 11 and a half games out, 6.5 out of the wild card. $70 and $72, 5.5 out of the wild card. We still don't have Ohtani for a month. I don't think it's going to matter, but a win and a loss. Another loss. Trout has been suspended. Mike Trout and his known temper. All right, 12 games out, 5.5 out. Yeah, we need to basically run the table here, which we're not doing. We just lost a bunch of games in a row. We just lose Calabrese. All right, we're playing out the string here, guys. I want to get through this season and call it an episode. I am tired. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. That's way too much for me. So let's get to the end of the season. We lose our catcher. Of course we do. What are we missing here? Just Alcantara? Yeah. Backman's not going to be back this season. Jesus, it's just injury after injury after injury. I don't think we're eliminated yet, but there we go. Now we're eliminated. Are we going to end up with the same record we had last year? If we win on the last day of the season, yep. Back-to-back 80 and 82 seasons. All right. Not a whole lot we can do about it. We need to figure out offense. We need to figure out our offense. And there's really not a whole lot we can do except for wait for these guys to come up. Our pitching staff ultimately was fine. 6th in runs scored, 6 starters ERA, 2nd in bullpen. Defensive efficiency was fine. Our zone rating was awful. But we're going to start to move on from some of these players. Like I think Walsh's contract is up this year. Ward's contract is up this year. Marsh's contract is up this year. So we're going to need to start to see some growth from some of the really young guys here in the offseason. Pena, Seacon, Yazquez. We got a couple of center fielders here, Caldwell and Rada. And, of course, our first-round pick is hurt. The frack, nope. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's right there. Yeah. Okay, well, the contact is up, so that's good. He's hitting pretty well in double A, so he'll likely be up next season. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go watch Scrubs for a couple hours before I go to bed. We're probably going to do the same thing next week. Probably going to do some draft day sports, college football, and then we'll do some out of the park baseball after that. So, actually, I don't know if I'm going to be streaming next Sunday. I got a baseball game next Sunday. I've got like 10 baseball games over the next 2 weeks. So I may not be streaming. I don't know what time the game Sunday starts in Kane County. If it's a 1 o'clock game, I'll be home by 5 or something. And I should be able to stream since I don't have to work on Monday. So if I have to do a longer stream or a later stream next Sunday night, I can. But yeah, you guys, I will on Discord here tonight when I get downstairs. I will bring up the online league, and then I'm also going to give you guys the link. I don't know if you guys care to listen to me broadcast baseball games, but I'm going to give you the link to the baseball games that I do. And we got playoff games coming up next week. And she told you couldn't meet Donald. I would have left her. I would have left her. 100% I would have left her. So, anyway, yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out and keeping me busy tonight, keeping me occupied tonight, keeping me entertained. Did they have good veggie food at the Dogs games? Not really. I mean, you know, they've got Chicago-style hot dogs, so you got a whole bunch of veggies on those. But other than that, it's, you know, hot dogs and nachos and tacos and, you know, typical baseball food. So, all right, guys, I'm done. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you on Discord. See ya. Have a good night. Bye.